Okay, everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
All right. I would like to tell you about fire investigation case. It wasn't huge as we saw earlier from Greece and the other countries. It's a small family house happened explosion, and it was very mysterious and it was very new for us what caused this explosion. It was a little town north of Hungary, next to the Slovakian border, and this house exploded in February. There was cold outside, and as a result of the explosion, the street wall of the house collapsed and the tiles flew off completely from the roof. The rooms are completely burned out. Just a minute. At the explosion, 3 people, a family, was inside the house, one father, mother, and a child. All of them burned very badly, but they could escape from the building after the explosion, and the neighbors put out the fire of their burning clothes. Sorry. They had serious burn injuries. The father died 2 days after, and the mother, she spent 5 months in the hospital, and the child spent 3 months in the hospital, but they survived. This is the picture of the house from the next morning. You can see the tiles are missing from the roof, and the roof made of wood, and there are very few burning marks on the roof. There were installations, EPS installations from outside of the house, and you can see in the picture there was a burn down near the entrance and the windows. And the origin of the room was located front of this entrance, behind this entrance marked with the yellow mark. This is the garden side of the house. The burned living rooms and all the windows and the doors are completely burned. And here the police are waiting for the fire investigation to tell him something about the origin of the fire. This is the back side of the house, and under the yellow line there is an open garage, where the silver car on the street was located during the explosion. And after the explosion, the neighbors pushed out from the garage this car. Behind the picture, the yellow line, there is a boiler room in the house where the explosion may happen. The Toyota Avensis, the car outside the street, is operated with LPG, the gas. So it was a dual power, gasoline and LPG. This is the attic of the house, and the strongest burn marks under the yellow mark, and it's the entrance from the boiler room to the attic. You can see here much more better. The burning, it's very unaffected by the wooden structure of the attic and the floor. This is the condition of the parents' bedroom. It was completely burned out. There were no marks of any combustible item. It was everything burned out to the floor. Only the metal pieces of a chair you can see on next to the wall, and nothing left on this room. And also the other rooms are completely burned out, and no furniture remains are found. You looked like it was an empty house, but it was a full furnished living room on this picture. And on the back, in the center of the picture, there is a fireplace which was operated during the explosion. And here only the metal pieces of the furniture are left. The heating was done with a fireplace, with firewood, and but you can see there are no serious damage on the fireplace. This is the other side of the living room with the kitchen. Only the metal appliances remained on the floor, also completely burned out. And this is the bathroom and the boiler room, which was separated with a wall. It knocked down, and from the left side of this picture there is a bathroom, and on the right side of the picture is the boiler room, and the walls from the bathroom was tilted toward us and the boiler room. So something happened in the bathroom previous to the fire. There was a gas heater in the house, but it looks like it was closed down, so it was not operated before the fire or during the fire. The gas supplier investigation stated that the gas network was gas tight even after the explosion, so it didn't cause the fire and didn't cause the gas leakage. We found in the bathroom there was a 50 liters aluminum gas bottle which was on the shower, and it was seriously damaged. There is a dent in the shell of the bottle, and it was a seal. That's the next picture. In Hungary, we use aluminum-made bottles, unless in Europe, other countries who uses steel bottles. But we think it wasn't the problem. And you see the seal of the propane tank was unharmed, so it wasn't leaking from this propane tank. This aluminum tank has a 25 liters of gas capacity, and a smaller number of 50-liter bottles are also in the market, and this one is a 50-liter bottle, and it caused the problem. It contains 23 kilograms of propane-butane gas, and it can be filled only 80% full because of it has to be 20% empty space required to do gas expansion within the tank. The gas filling stations and testing laboratories testing these bottles for 25 bars pressure. It has to handle this pressure. And according to joint practice with the experts of the company that filled the gas cylinders, the cylinders in the fire burst at 60 or 65 bars. So very high pressure it could handle. These bottles have to be inspected every 10 years, and this bottle was expired. So who filled this gas at the filling station? There was a sign of impact on the back wall of the shower, which, depending on its shape and size, could result from the bottle hitting the wall. This was confirmed by the dent in the mantle of the bottle. And here is the bottle. You can see it's cracked. So it's a very interesting shape. Instead of the irregularity shaped splits of a bottle exploding in a fire, this opening is irregular, very symmetrical. So we called the safety manager of the gas cylinder manufacturer from the site, to get an explanation how this crack could happen. In his opinion, was this bottle ruptured due to overpressure. The fact of the physical explosion was reinforced by the fact that the neighbors said, and they first heard a dull thud, and then after about this very loud noise, 5-8 seconds, an explosion with much larger flames occurred. Another number of the propane-butane explosion. When the gas burns, the propagation speed of the flame front is about half meters per second. So, in Hungary, we use the explosion definition over 10 meters per second on the flame front. So it wasn't exactly an explosion. It was after the physical explosion of the bottle. It was a very fast burning of the propane gas. Or after later we found out it wasn't propane butane in this tank. It was LPG from the car filling station. The LPG and the propane gas is very similar, almost the same, but the LPG is much cleaner gas than the PB. Circumstances suggested that hot water was flowed on the bottle in the bathroom under the shower, but the shower faucet was not investigatable because it melted from the heat. So why was the bottle in the bathroom? What we saw earlier in the study of the external environment began to make sense. We found an interesting thing in the half-roof garage. On one of the rafters hang two cords with curved nails at the end. Examining the area under the cord, we found a hose with connectors. One connector fitted to the gas cylinder and the other one fitted to the Toyota gas filler connection, the car. Based on the size of the cylinder, it could be determined that the curved nails in the holes in the base of the gas cylinder. So it could be hanged to the roof. The valve of the cylinder was in line with the filling connector of the vehicle. So you can see the connecting hole and the hanger. So we found two smaller 25-liter bottles in the yard storage. Measuring the bottles with a scale, it was clear that they were overfilled. As I mentioned earlier, the only cylinders that are 80% full and do not weigh more than 11.5 kilograms of propane-butane gas may leave the official filling station. The measurement clearly showed that the bottles were overfilled. Due to overfilling, there were no space in the cylinders for the gas to expand, and the temperature rise of 1 Celsius degree causes a pressure increase inside the cylinder of 7 bar. Based on the circumstances, it can be stated that the physical explosion of the overfilled bottle in the bathroom was caused the internal physical exposure. The escaping gas, taking account the density of this LPG gas, spread through the apartment and absorbed into everything very, very quickly. This explains the combustion of all combustible materials and all the burning of the victims, because the gas absorbed in their clothes as well. But what initiated the gas spread in the apartment? We went back to the boiler room and the bathroom. The PV gas is very spark sensitive, so we know that the burner of the gas stove can also be ignited by the spark of a piezo lighter that you use in your kitchen. So the fire in the fireplace at the time of the explosion, it was working, so the first time our suspicions were directed to the open flame fireplace. However, as seen on the previous picture, no signs of heavy damage were found in the fireplace and its surroundings. So we looked another direction. Examining the rest of the apartment, we noticed the fallen walls of the bathroom, and the fall of the two walls of the bathroom suggested that the starting point of the gas explosion was in the bathroom. The walls fell towards to the boiler room and the corridor of the apartment. Remains of the inverter of the solar system were found on the sloping wall towards the boiler room. So the plates of aluminum housing of this device were torn apart and bent outward. So the explosion had started inside the inverter case. This is the inverter we found in this house. The left one, the smaller one, was installed in this apartment. After the site examination and after asking the neighbors, the story came together finally. The owner of the house regularly traveled to Slovakia, where he refueled his car with LPG gas at the gas station, and also irregularly 3 propane-butane gas cylinders as well. 2 were the smaller one, the 25 liters, and 1 was the bigger one, the 50 liters. With this solution, he saved about 25 forints per liter, about 7 euro cents per liter. So he was saving money. After emptying the gas tank in the car, he himself poured the gas from the bottles into the 90-liter steel gas tank in his car. He was also prepared for such an action to the day of the explosion. Due to the cold weather in February, he showered the overfilled bottle with warm water to make the gas flow easier. There was not enough space in the overfilled bottle for the gas to expand, and the bottle split and knocked down the walls of the bathroom. The escaping gas spread into the apartment to every room and every part of the apartment, and the gas was ignited by the inverter mounted on the bathroom wall. Once the circumstances of the fire were clarified and the clues and the remains became meaningful, the police started on-site inspection and were able to record all the important details of the basis of what happened. The investigation by the police ended without liability because the perpetrator died, unfortunately. In summary, an overfilled gas cylinder containing propane, butane or LPG gas was showered in the bathroom of the apartment for heating purposes to speed up the transfer of the gas. After this happened, to prevent similar cases, the fire prevention department carried out inspection at fuel stations where LPG gas could be refueled, and we also found such irregularities in these filling stations. And this case was in about 5 years ago, and we didn't have any similarities yet. So maybe this fire prevention check and with our help was finally made these benefits. So thank you very much for your attention about this.